Hello, my name is Josh Swingle, and this is my capstone presentation for Strategy Knowledge Integration as part of Robert Morris University's MBA program. During this presentation, I will be providing a strategic analysis of Quad Graphics Incorporated. As part of this analysis, I will discuss external factors related to the industry and environment with which Quad is operating in. And then I will also discuss my analysis of Quad's internal operations, their core competencies, business aspects that they should eliminate, reduce, raise, and create to increase profitability, and a financial statement analysis. Lastly, I will conclude with some recommendations. Just as a side note, the logos that you see to the right are various businesses which Quad has acquired over the years, some of which I will discuss as part of their strategy. As an overview, Quad Graphics Incorporated was founded by Harry Quadracci in 1971 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Quad provides marketing solutions, but they do have a legacy of providing print. That would primarily be catalogs, direct mailings to clients, but they have implemented a strategy where they're focusing more on the integrated marketing solutions as these recognize higher profitability. Quad is still 71% owned by the Quadracci family, and the youngest son, Joel, still serves as chairman and CEO. They operate in 37 offices around the world, primarily in the US, but that also includes Central and South America, as well as Europe. On the right, you'll see a 1983 cover, which featured Harry Quadracci, and it focuses on his progressive methodology of allowing employees to run the business. This is really relevant to their Quad 3.0 strategy, which they're using now, because they actually have invested in the salaries of employees and workers to promote innovation within the company. So Quad 3.0 strategy, really it is a two-pronged approach to increasing the profitability of the organization. The first being focusing on higher profitability solutions such as integrated marketing. These integrated marketing solutions reduce complexities and improve the effectiveness of their clients' marketing spend. So when we're talking about marketing solutions, we're talking about the marketing strategy of how a client reaches its customers. That can also include the creative, so the design and creation and production of the advertisements, and then media buying, actual purchasing of media space to run the advertisements that are designed and execute on the media plan. And also as part of their strategy, Quad plans to divest in some of their less profitable business units. They do have a strong legacy in print, and as advertising moves more towards digital capabilities to reach customers, they are eliminating some aspects of their business that don't provide value to Quad or their clients. They're really achieving these two kind of approaches through acquisitions and disposals. So the acquisitions are really focused on companies that will allow them to broaden their integrated marketing approach. So they've purchased several companies within the US, Periscope, which was a creative agency, and they were acquired for $132.5 million. They've also acquired Evie Associates, which is another marketing services provider, for $92.5 million. And Rise Interactive, they already had a 19% stake in Rise, but they increased that to 57% in the past year for $9 million. They've also acquired two advertising agencies in other countries. So Peppermint Warsaw, which is located in Poland, is a print and digital creative agency, and Apple Tree Group in Mexico, a marketing strategy and creative services agency. The amounts of these acquisitions were not disclosed, but these will be key to increasing Quad's presence in other markets. And then they've also divested in certain aspects of their business that are not as profitable. They've sold industrial wood crating subsidiary Transpac for 10 million. They've sold their book printing business, which is pretty significant considering that Quad used to be one of the largest book printing businesses in the US, and the business was estimated to be at 200 million. And they've also sold their Omaha, Nebraska packaging plant, which was sold for 40 million. Based on this strategy, they've already seen organic growth of 225 million in sales, and that has really been from the integrated marketing solutions, which have higher profitability. The printing solutions and some of the other less profitable business segments have been driving down revenue. Quad has two main competitors, which I've identified. Sorry about that. Two main competitors that I've identified. So Senvio is one that also has a legacy in print, but is about half the size of Quad. And then R.R. Donnelley & Sons, which really focuses on those integrated marketing solutions as well as the print, is roughly twice the size as Quad. There are significant industry factors when it relates to competition. There are a lot of advertising agencies that exist within the marketplace, specifically the big four, WPP, Omnicom, Publicis, and Interpublic, but there are also many smaller advertising agencies that exist, which provide significant competition for Quad as they fight to obtain clients. The power of buyers is relatively moderate. In the past few years, procurement has begun to get involved with a lot of the marketing spend of advertisers, and that has put significant pressure to cut budgets and then pressure on the advertising agencies or marketing agencies such as Quad to reduce profit margins. The power of suppliers is very low. The suppliers essentially in this case would be the media service providers. So radio stations, TV, websites, they primarily make their revenue from running advertisements. And so it can be very competitive in terms of hosting advertisements as they fight to gain advertising revenue. Barriers to entry are pretty low. There is not significant investment in terms of machinery or equipment. The main thing that really would be a barrier is ensuring that you have contacts to gain business and then personnel to execute on the business that is won. And power of substitutes is really low. The substitute in this case really being word of mouth, which is not an effective means for reaching customers. In the environmental analysis, there are not significant threats to Quad. From a political standpoint, the main thing being is they continue to increase their presence in other countries. They'll have to be aware of nationality requirements for providing services in certain countries. And then from an economic standpoint, a lot of their offices are located in small to mid-tier cities. So some of the factors that they may face will be employment levels in those cities, as well as the skill set of the workforce that exists there. So identifying and retaining top talent might be a challenge. Sociocultural aspects in Latin America, the way the business is done differs from other places in the world. So there may be factors to how they negotiate deals as it relates to bribery or kickbacks. Technological, there's nothing significant here. In the modern age and the places that Quad is operating in, they have the ability to communicate and share information easily through internet, phone, and then digitalization has really been a revolution within the marketing advertising space because it's created additional opportunities for advertisers to sell their advertisements or buy space for their advertisements. Ecological, the main thing here being sustainability, because they do focus on some print solutions. They have an initiative to reduce their carbon footprint. So they're focusing more on sustainable packaging for customers and then reducing the use of print services when digital can be used. Legal factors, the California Consumer Privacy Act is important. Because they're an advertising agency, they deal a lot with consumer data, and so they have to manage that and be able to respond to requests from consumers about their data. So there are requirements that need to be in place for that. And then anti-competition regulation is important as well, as they seek to continue to acquire additional businesses. Already, they have been blocked from acquiring a competitor by the DOJ because of anti-competition concerns. Quad has three main competencies that I've identified, those being integration of new businesses, implementation of strategy, and printing economies of scale. For the two first competencies, those are really the strengths of Quad. Printing economies of scale is not as significant. This is not really aligned with their strategy of focusing on higher profitability integrated marketing. But they have effectively acquired new businesses that align with this and integrated that to their existing business. And then also they've been able to successfully implement their strategy primarily because they are a majority family-owned organization. It allows them to decide and approve and implement actions quickly. Some of the areas that Quad should focus on from business segments, they should really focus on eliminating and divesting in their aging product lines that have decreasing profitability, such as the wood crating business, which they've already sold. And they should reduce their use of less sustainable packaging, really focusing on promoting sustainability within their organization as part of their strategy. And they should raise their use of integrated marketing solutions to continue to drive their revenue higher and their profit margins higher, focusing on higher margin marketing services, such as creative strategy around marketing and media buying. And then they should also still leverage some of the print solutions for direct-to-consumer brands, although digitalization has been a revolution of sorts within the advertising space. Sometimes these do not generate long-term customers, so print solutions such as catalogs can really drive long-term growth. Quickly on the income statements, you'll see that Quad has continued to see declining revenue and profit from their operations in the past few years, and this is really from the decreasing profitability of some of their legacy business segments. So as I mentioned before, with the acquisition of new companies for integrated marketing solutions, they're beginning to see revenue grow as there's a decline in the legacy business segments. And then in 2019, they did recognize a $156 million net loss. So it really would be critical that they continue to focus on profitability. The balance sheet, I think the most notable thing is that their debt relative to their equity is significantly high. This likely has a lot to do with the acquisitions that they are executing as part of their integrated marketing solution strategy. So as they continue to grow and acquire businesses, they'll really have to be mindful of the debt they're assuming to do this. And then finally, my recommendations. So I think that Quad should continue to invest in digital marketing businesses that will allow them to expand and reach new markets. Really, they should be focusing on small to mid-tier cities where they can differentiate themselves and have less competition from some of the larger agencies. And then they should also continue to focus on diving further into the international markets, which they currently don't have as large of a presence in. And then also with the smaller and mid-tier cities, because they are a family-owned organization, I think that there is potential that they can use that as a selling strategy to other customers that have a similar background. And they should continue to dispose of their less profitable business components and hopefully leverage the capital from those to continue to invest in new business.